And good morning from Scotty Ray Candace. The weekend is here.
I'm so glad.
So y'all got big plans?
No, not really, which I'm glad because I don't want any plans.
There's some type of an event out at the Ag Center. I know it's Twin States something. They're doing something out at the Ag Center this weekend. So
Okay.
you can swing by there and check that out. I don't have all the details on that.
Yeah, well, this has been the longest week, it feels like to me. I don't know if it's just because we had a lot going on or what, but I'm glad it's the weekend for sure.
I don't know. My dog was up here talking to me just a few minutes ago. You know, she can kind of talk to me when nobody else is around. And
Yeah.
she says that she really wants to bump back into this Tyson character one more time.
Oh, really?
Tyson Pompeo may have gave her some surgery yesterday. She ain't happy about it.
Oh, really?
She had something on her little eyelid over there, and he removed it. And she's been waiting on him. Like, come on back over here, buddy.
I wish you could see her right now.
Let me
She's
see if
like,
this
I don't know
camera
if
picked that up. Let me go
the
here.
chair might be in the way.
Yeah, the chair's in the way. It didn't get it. Bless her heart.
Oh, well,
She was all fours up in the air like that over there in the other side of the studio. But she's just waiting on Tyson.
Oh, goodness.
I feel your pain, girl. Nothing like going to a doctor, is it?
I know. I got to take one of us does today, I think, take my little one. He's sinusy. So.
That I had a bout with that yesterday that I wasn't on my P's and Q's yesterday.
I think a lot of people are having issues right now. I don't know if it's just because we've come out of the mask and we're catching every little germ or what.
I think there's going to be a lot of sickness for the next couple of months because you haven't been around people and
Right.
that stuff's been waiting to jump on somebody.
I know everybody's been covered, So,
Yeah.
anyway, hopefully we'll get it dealt with and it'll just be a little sinus issue.
Sunshine all weekend long, 86 today, and then by Sunday, be ready. We're into the 90s. Parts of Georgia are going to be hitting 100 this weekend.
Oh goodness, that's early.
And so
That's kind of gives you a little, I guess, hint of how the summer's going to be.
92, 93 is what we're going to be at the beginning of next week. And let me pull this up. This is already starting. This has changed since I got up at 4 o'clock and looked at this. It was at 20% at 4 a.m. Now the Hurricane Center is rating this at 40% in the Gulf right here. Let me get this over here. Right there. That's at 40% there. So we'll watch that if anything, because this one is at 90%. Now, this one wouldn't hold a threat to us at this point, only this orange one here, but it's something to watch.
You never know how that's going to go when it gets in the Gulf because
I know.
if the waters are warm and it starts,
But
amping up.
heads up on all that. And if it does anything like last year, it's really going to like Louisiana. Louisiana.
Oh, they got just pummeled last year from them.
And already this year, all the flooding that is happening this week down there. And it's still, if you go to radar right now and pull this up, look at this around New Orleans, all of this rain that is coming in. All right through here. Baton Rouge, and it's already flooded dramatically, and it's still showers coming in. Houma, Louisiana.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not a day to go gator fishing.
No, you might find one up in your yard.
Is that show still on?
Yeah. I don't know if it is, but we used to watch it a good bit.
Shoot him.
There ain't no way I'd get out there and do that mess.
They got to adding so many people to the hunt that I lost kind of contact with it. The Indian guy was pretty cool.
Yeah.
With the ponytail, he done good. And
What was the main guy?
Troy.
Yeah, Troy.
Troy
Yeah.
Landry.
The one that said, what'd you
Shoot
say?
him.
Yeah.
Shoot him. He was funny. And then, but I really don't know if the show is still on. It's just been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah.
But you can always flip through and catch a updated version of Pawn Stars. They always got something interesting on there.
Yeah, I kind of got bored with it.
Pawn Stars.
Yeah, what's the young guy that's on there?
Chumley.
Yes, he gets on my nerves.
And, they discussed that of where they went a little too far into following these little projects they'd get them to do, and people did get tired of it.
Yeah, he just was kind of on the
But
not so bright side, it seemed like. I just kind of.
they've made a fortune out of that.
Yeah.
And but all reality shows, each one of them's different. And then you get hooked into, what was that one where they go by the storage bins,
Oh, yeah. Storage Wars.
Would you do that?
Would I go bid on
Yeah,
one?
I mean, do you feel comfortable not knowing what's in there and going real high on a bid?
No, I wouldn't go high on a bid. I might throw a little money at it, just a little bit or
little
something.
bit.
Yeah, because I would be so aggravated if I had a bunch of money to put in there and then I just had junk.
There's one of those guys, it's the older guy that never gets a good locker. Every time he buys one, it's junk.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a hint of he doesn't know what he's doing.
The show it was pretty good, but then it got to where it was just so scripted.
Staged.
I can't stand that. I just don't like the scripted stuff.
Nothing seemed...
No, I mean, then they'd get aggravated, and you could tell that they were it was all scripted.
And then that yup guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't like him from the beginning, I'll be honest about it. I can't remember his name, but that was one of those shows.
Yeah.
Well, we begin this Friday, and we're glad to have you a part of it. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, starting Monday, a little different. When we begin, it will be that black screen that you see that comes on that says starting soon will last a little bit longer. It'll run for about 5 minutes, and then directly at 8 a.m., we will go live. And that is for the TV station to get the signal, make sure that there's no problems on our end or their end to carry the show as it goes to television. And, at the end of the day, none of this is possible without everybody making this thing grow each day.
Right. I mean, y'all are a big factor in this show.
Yeah.
And thank y'all so much, like Scotty Ray said, for watching and for commenting and
It'll,
interacting with us. That makes
as you just, it'll be the only show that you can interact with someone that's on television, and it's neat. So you can watch it on television, and you can sit here on live stream and talk to us and watch us. This part's not changing at all.
Right.
But pretty neat, because I'd asked you to come up. I was doing a podcast, which I still do, and you come in and gave me some thoughts on that. And one thing led to another. Next thing Candace is a part of this.
I know. I was so nervous when you had me up here asking questions for that podcast that time. I can't remember what it was.
I can't either because I've done so many.
Yeah, but I was a nervous wreck. I mean, you might as well had me up on a stage in front of thousands. Which, I mean, I know that we're live and stuff, but I don't know. I just kind of settled into it. And
it's been good.
I enjoy it.
I remember the first time I sat down at a radio board, I was 17 years old, and they said, don't pay attention. There's probably 90,000 people listening to you. And you go, 90,000 people. It does make you nervous.
And now they can see you.
Yeah.
So
you can't hide like you could in radio.
Right.
You could come in with mustard on your shirt and radio, and it'd be okay. But not so much when you've got a picture to tell the true story.
Just like when you have a coughing spell, and you got to kind of like bail out to the right.
Yeah.
Or the left.
It happens. There's no way around it. But again, this has all been, and thank you to the sponsors, the people that watch, that make this thing happen. It gets bigger each day. Every time you share it, more people come to the page. And as well as with the weather, we'll be covering weather with Twin States News. We'll do break-ins when weather gets bad to let you know where it is. And then when you want to know the detailed, like I do all the time, you just follow me back here, and we'll do it street by street, more detailed weather.
Right.
That will continue. So things are looking up. I'm excited.
I am too. I think it's going to be a fun thing, and I'm anxious to see how many more people we get to comment from when it goes on TV. So, but let everybody know it's going to be on channel 24 WMDN, MeTV. But tell everybody that way they can watch, and then they can comment also, because I mean, I don't know. I guess a lot of people still don't know they can interact.
Yeah.
Some people just pop on and say hey, or
It's real neat. I was going to pull this up. I don't know if I hit the wrong button here. Let me see if I can find it. And I don't want you to take this wrong before I show this. Let me get down here to it, because I know how Candace could take something the wrong way, and I want to go ahead and point out that that's not the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I'm almost there.
Oh Lord.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, I saw this last night, and I thought, is this supposed to symbolize something, Scotty?
I figured you were going to ask me, what cow am I supposed to be?
Which one am I? Am I the one in the front with my tongue sticking out and half my ear missing?
I just love that. And Jennifer Dial, that is her picture from her farm over in Epps, Alabama, and I appreciate her letting me use her cows.
That's cute, though.
I love cows. Cows just make a picture worth 1,000 words, so to speak. But which one did you want to be here?
I guess my color matches the one in the front.
Okay. I thought it was that big old tongue there going,
Yeah. I'm the same color as the cow.
Oh, that's too funny. But a big thank you to Jennifer for letting me use her cows there. That was pretty good.
Yes.
And you've got a dress on today. Is there some big event?
It's like, no, it's just like, I call it like a sack dress. It's just real airy.
Airy?
It's real, yeah. It's just, yeah, I'm comfortable today.
Kind of like my green jogging breeches I used to have that Angie threw away when I left the house.
I had a pair of jogging pants that I had for years, and it's nothing like, something like that's real comfortable.
I know.
I had paint on them and everything.
Correct.
It didn't matter. I just wore
had
them all the
holes.
time.
And then she go and throw it away, and then you can never get another pair that fits just. I had them, I know, 12 years.
Oh, really?
At least 12.
I had a pair of Levi's that were like that. I loved them until I couldn't fit in them anymore.
That was my next comment of, I got a bunch of pants that just won't zip anymore. Something went wrong.
It's called growing older. Everything spreads out.
Whew, that it does. And there's, I don't get the diet things because I've never, I guess, officially been on a diet. I've done that stuff with Angie where she does the keto stuff, but I guess I don't stay strict.
Yeah.
And what is the thing where you only eat eggs for 2 weeks and you're supposed to lose 20 pounds?
It's like an egg diet,
Yeah,
but like
egg is
protein.
period.
Yeah.
Could you do that?
I did that one time. I lost 8 pounds in a hurry. I mean, it does work. I mean, it's crazy. You eat like boiled eggs in the morning with a fruit. And then you eat at lunch. I think you can have a salad with maybe a chicken breast in it with, I think, an egg.
So did it get to the point the thought of an egg made you want to go, ugh?
Yeah, I thought if I eat one more egg. But anyway, I mean, it really does work if you don't mind eating eggs all the time,
Yeah, but you got to stay focused.
Right. I had some customers that lost a good bit of weight doing that.
So,
yeah.
One day, and I know I need to. I know y'all sitting there thinking, fat boy needs a diet, and I will try it one day.
You do not even look fat.
I am just not what I was.
Well, nobody.
I am so much more comfortable walking around with my blue jeans, like 3 of them unsnapped, and going, feels good. I think there's a lot of folks that do that right now.
I'm sure they do, yeah.
And then it was a lot of them.
Or they just suffer through it and can't breathe.
Yeah, I'm not good at suffering when it comes to that. Hey, I just saw this posted just a little bit ago, and I thought we would share this. The Household Hazardous Waste Day is tomorrow for the Meridian area. You can take it to their Public Works office at 311 27th Avenue, 27th. I didn't say that correctly there. And you bring your aerosol cans, paint thinners, drain openers, used oil, all types of stuff there that's been sitting around your house that you can get rid of that you can't throw in your regular garbage.
Okay. Yeah, we've got a good bit of junk we need to get rid of, I'm sure.
Yeah, I made a regular run to the dump out at West Lauderdale a couple weeks back.
Yeah, I just wish the hours were different. I don't see how anybody has time to even go and
get there on time.
Yeah, because I mean it closes early during the week and Sundays it's not open. So.
I hit it on Saturday afternoon before they close. Is how it all worked.
Yeah,
and always take a friend with you because you'll be there for 45 minutes trying to get your junk unloaded.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't like bombard you trying to get the stuff off.
I had a couple of those guys there too, so I got rid of my stuff quick. Let's see things that are happening this morning. We mentioned the hurricane that possibly forming there in the Gulf. This goes back. Where did that go? Oh, that messed up there. The bridge that is in Memphis. This is a picture from 1996, and if you'll notice right there in the picture, there it is. It was a kayaker who was underneath it and snapped a picture in 2016.
Yeah.
And they blew it up, and sure enough, the crack was there then. So this bridge has not been inspected in a long time.
That's scary. I hope they check all the other.
The same guy was in charge
structures. I mean, I know it's probably not big bridges like that, but even smaller ones. My gosh.
Ooh, I just hope they check that one over in Baton Rouge. I get the willies. I've been across
the big one, big top, like that goes way up. I can't stand that. I
wouldn't want to be there. I guess you have to get out there on the ledge or take a drone to check these, I suppose.
Probably so. I mean, I'm sure it is hard to get up there to check them.
But if that's what you paid for, you need to do your job.
That's scary.
That could have turned into something serious.
It could.
I know as a kid, a bridge fell in, where was that? West Virginia when I was a small kid. We had family up there and gone up there and a bridge had fell in. And it was 3 or 4 people got killed on that.
Well, you even think of like tornadoes. I mean, I know that a lot of times they won't take a bridge like that down, but I mean, if it's weak like that, I mean, it could really damage it even worse. So,
yeah. Let's say some good mornings. We've got a few folks stirring today. And, of course, we'd love to hear from what town you're watching from today.
That's right. Karen Gibbs says good morning to us. And Chad Acton, good morning from Ward 5.
All right. Let's see, good morning to Kathy Jenkins. Also, Miss Annie McKee watching us. We appreciate you there.
Miss Joyce Godwin, good morning to you. And Linda Jane Lunsford's watching this morning. Good morning.
Charlene Etheridge, how in the world are you doing? Glad to see you're out there. Also, happy Friday morning from Charlene Gaddy.
Donna Roseman says good Friday morning. And Terry Carter, good morning.
Let's see, Denise Hopper is watching also. Thank you. Also, Donna Sue Pebbles is stirring around a little bit there as well.
Linda Culpepper, good morning. And she hopes everybody has a blessed and fantastic Friday and the weekend.
Yeah.
And I hope they do too.
Tajetta 2 is up. Good morning. And also Alicia Fisher. Good morning to you as well. Again, we'd love to hear from you. If you're watching from somewhere, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear that. Do you remember the story that we did a few weeks back of the guy that did the gender reveal and took the 90 pounds of the tannerite and put out there?
Cracked somebody's foundation. Yes, in their home.
He's been officially charged now.
Oh, goodness.
With a crime for doing this. It shook, it rattled. They said they heard it for miles, and he's been arrested now. Of the gender reveal, it was last month when he done that.
Now, what the picture here? What are we looking at?
That's where he shot he went to like that's like a sand mine.
Okay.
You know, where you go get your dirt from, and that's where he shot it off at.
And you would think that would be a safe area.
Yeah, and that's what he thought, but it did not work out that way.
If it was bad enough to crack somebody's foundation, I mean, it could have injured somebody really bad standing nearby.
He went way overboard with the amount that he used.
Yeah.
So, and who knows if there's going to be lawsuits involved in that. It very well could be, because your insurance company probably wouldn't want to pay for the damage to your house if they knew somebody who did it.
Yeah.
So that's coming. Watch that. That'll be in the news before long. Have you heard the story? And it's so often that people walk by when somebody's hurt and just leaves them. They see it and they keep going. But the UPS guy didn't do this. This was in New York. And he comes out, and it was a teenager that got robbed by other teenagers for his tennis shoes. And horrible that people would do this. And you'll see that there he is there. They beat him down. 2 of them do. And they whoop him pretty hard, and they're going to pull his shoes off and leave the scene. And then this UPS guy comes out the store. Here he comes, and he sees him out there, and he goes out and takes his package and puts under his head. And the kid, I think, was a diabetic, and he stayed with him until the paramedics got there, and he's going to be okay. But
that is horrible. You
know, we saw a story not long ago where a young girl was killed for her tennis shoes. Shoes, people.
Mm-hmm. Well, yesterday, when we talked about the lady who was at what was it, a memorial service?
Yes, and she got shot.
Yeah. Her friend, or her friend one, was shot and killed for stepping on a gang member's foot by accident.
Come on.
Yeah, they shot her, like instantly shot her because she stepped on their foot by accident.
Horrible, horrible. There's all types of talk about this. Now, I don't know whether it's true, but there's pictures supposedly is happening. The folks from Tennessee said that they're going to launch an investigation into this, but it's rumored that there's video here showing that Biden is flying migrant children into Tennessee. Mm-hmm. The Republicans say that they're going to investigate this.
They're doing it at night, supposedly, when nobody would be around to see it
to watch.
But obviously somebody has seen it.
That's a picture of them boarding the plane. Mm-hmm. We'll see if anything comes out of this.
You know, because they asked the Tennessee governor, I think it was the Tennessee governor. I know that I had seen an interview where they had asked maybe the North Carolina governor. They asked them, could they bring the kids into the foster system, and they said no.
And so
they refused. And so they're flying them in anyway.
Sneaking them in at
night. Mm-hmm.
That's wrong.
You know, but I can't really say a whole lot of positive things about.
Okay, this next story, you may know, and I meant to talk to you about this before we went live so I wouldn't catch you off guard, but I really, truly don't understand this, and if somebody else does. The Diana interview that happened years ago by the BBC, every headline that is out there, and I just haven't slowed down enough to read the entirety of all of this. She was deceived by the reporter, had something to do with a banking account, all of this, and they're saying now that him lying to her has led to her death whatever happened. Are you up to date on all that?
No. Mm-mm.
So
Diana?
Diana, Princess Diana.
Because I thought that they had a wreck because somebody was chasing them, trying to get a paparazzi picture.
They're saying that interview caused all of that. Her to be chased by the paparazzis due to the interview.
Oh,
She was misled into giving that interview, and she never would have if she hadn't been lied to. Something that the reporter showed her made her go, okay, I'll go ahead and tell this.
Okay.
But I don't quite understand everything with it. And that is news everywhere this morning about Prince Harry. It's no matter what you touch on, that's all you're going to see is Prince Harry's words this morning.
Right.
And they're saying that he's going to reveal more in this Oprah Winfrey podcast that he's doing. I think the boy needs to hush. He's caused enough issues with the family now, especially after saying our First Amendment was bonkers.
Yeah. It's a mess for sure, So, like, we need a lot more backlash.
Right. Good morning to Greg. Is at Summerlin, and Greg is watching us from the East Mississippi Veterans Foundation. That's the place out in Newton, and I got a pamphlet that we'll talk about next week on that, where they're doing this and needing donations to help out with that.
The
Great
cemetery?
cause. Yeah,
is that right? Okay. Yeah. My husband's dad is buried out there.
a very nice place. They've done so much with it.
It's very nice
and
very well kept.
And I think all veterans, I'll have to dig into the perimeters of who can be buried there, but locally I think you can be. But I'll dig into that and get all the information on that. It's a great cause.
It's veterans and their wives can be buried also.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. Let's see, Joe McGinnis, good morning. We appreciate you watching it, along with Miss Donna Hawkins joining in this morning as well also. Let's see what else is stirring this morning across the big wide land here. You get into politics and you get into all these different people that give donations, and it tells really what they are. Here's a headline of an FBI director, former FBI director, Louis Fitch, gave $100,000 to a private trust to Joe Biden's grandchildren. Let that sink in a minute there.
Huh.
Now, you don't think that he's tied to Biden in some kind of way for the grandkids? That's what's really goes on behind the scenes in our government.
I think there's a lot that's going on that we don't know about. Like all of this, this oil, this pipeline, gas pipeline stuff with Russia, and none of it makes any sense. Like, why would you shut our own country's pipeline down and all of our workers that were working on that pipeline, they lose their jobs?
And then approve Russia.
Well, and then supposedly the Russians hacked our other pipeline. And a ransom supposedly was paid.
Yeah, 4.4.
And then he lifts the sanctions against Russia.
Yeah.
So they can operate their own pipeline.
Yeah. There goes our jobs.
Right. And there comes
our
theirs.
independence.
So is he still tied to like the Burisma stuff over there?
It does make you wonder, doesn't it?
Are they profiting some kind of way? I mean, it makes you really go,
There's a lot of homes with this. We really need our oil independency to where we don't rely on these other nations because they can seek you.
That's
and
right.
Please, and I don't know where this is, of getting back all of our factories, our medicines being made in the United States.
Yeah.
We saw how well that turned out for us during the pandemic when everything was shut down and you couldn't get anything because it was made not on American soil.
And I feel so sorry for all of these people who, like maybe needed insulin, their children needed insulin or different kinds of drugs to be able to, have a healthy, normal, as normal as can be life.
Right.
And they were paying a lot less for it when Trump was in office because I can't remember exactly what he did. I know that he was trying to have like we had to pay equal amount to the other countries because a lot of times we were paying so much more for our medications. And there was a mother that was just in tears one night talking about how was she going to afford. She had to have it for her child. He had to have it to live.
Hadn't the price gone up on the EpiPen? That like if you were to have an attack and you have to.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure.
Because Trump had brought that price down, if you remember, that company that was just way overcharging.
Yeah.
Sad times on that.
Yes, it is.
As we find out more of those stories, we'll bring those to you so that you'll know about that. Our friends out at, right there at Freeman Tractor, Coleslaw and Buttermilk are there wide open today on a Friday morning to take care of you when it comes to all of your grass cutting. If you need a weed eater, they got those also. If you need blades for your mower, if you're needing oil, filters, anything like that, they got it. And if it's that time that you'd like a mower, go see them. $29.99 starting for that X-Mark. You can get into the beginning model of a Skag at $46.99. all sizes, depending upon what size yard you've got, is what they carry for you. Up to 60-inch cut, 72-inch. See them. They'll show you. Now, cabin air conditioner is like the thing. It's the bomb when you come to a tractor.
And especially if you have bad allergies.
Yeah.
There's bees around, or anything that you could get into.
Plug your phone up to it and listen to your own music all day, whatever you want to do there. And it's stereo. Great.
Yes.
You'll like that. Open cab tractors with bush hogs on the front. You can get all the galvanized equipment that you might need, from bush hogs to disc, anything of that nature, forks, and also the Benchy, made right in Texas there. The Warrior, they've got one in this tan that they just added to the lineup. You can get air conditioning in it, heat, any of these type things. The 650, the 550s, and the 750s here. Pick your color. Choose it. All there at Freeman Tractor. Again, for all your lawnmower needs, right there at Freeman Tractor there on Highway 494 in the big Sicalina town. Always fun out that way.
Yes.
So when is camping season? When does that really start rolling?
It's going on now. It really is. We have not been yet. I don't know when we're going to get to go. I don't know if we're going to have to. Well, our awning is just hanging off because of the bad storm we had. The awning was just like ripped off, and the canvas part's just hanging. So we got to get that fixed. Before you head out, you do, don't you? Yes, we do. But there's a lot of people already camping.
I've passed a lot of campers, is the reason I brought that up.
I went to, we had been talking about getting a different one, and I went to a lot the other day and was looking, and there was tons of campers on the lot, but he said all of them were sold except for like 3.
So it's a hot commodity right now.
I mean, people are buying them left and right. So, yeah.
Clarko is big, and also Oak Tibby is big, isn't it? Kimper Lake, they've got places.
Oak Tibby is really big. That's where we have always done our camping because it's nearby home, and you can't hardly find a spot now. I mean, 2 months ago, it was July before I could get anything.
And I guess it's like a 50-year waiting for the Neshoba County Fair, isn't it, to get a camper in there?
Probably. I don't know. We've never been up there to take a camper.
That's coming in July. That's going to be a great show this year also.
I know they're getting ready to. I know they're ready because last year they didn't get to do it. So
Neshoba County Fair is a hoot. If you've never been, a lot of red dirt, and it will rain. It doesn't matter. Time. It's going to flood.
Yeah, put your rain boots on. It'll be muddy at some point. Dusty or muddy.
Yeah, one of the two things there. As we look at headlines here, I guess you don't get away with murder even if you thought you did. After 11 years, a guy has been arrested at his Minnesota home for shooting his wife 11 years ago. Always comes back. Truth, what's that? Truth shall set you free. Well, it's not going to set him free. It's taking him on down to the pokey there.
Yeah.
Whew. But it's amazing how some of those cops on this cold case files never give up. You ever watch any of those shows?
I have watched them in the past, and I mean that's a good thing that they don't ever give up, because if you were a family member of somebody who died, and it's very important to you, and you kind of feel like you're a number to everybody else,
Dennis Quaid, you know who I'm talking about? Did you ever see a show that he was in called Frequency?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh, that show was good. It was back in the 90s. But what a show that was. And it was about some unsolved murders and being able to talk to somebody in the future. Really good show.
Okay.
I give it thumbs up. If you have no time this weekend, look it up, Frequency. You'll enjoy that show. Don't remember the other little character that was in it. It was a big name, but Dennis, I do remember. They're going to be making a change, Candace. And I don't know what this really means because I have somebody else set up my stuff.
Okay.
So your web browser is going away in 2022.
The Internet Explorer.
Yeah. I use Firefox instead.
Okay.
I'd gotten to where so many sites wouldn't use that one. So I changed to Firefox when I started this, just using that.
Is that the same thing as like Chrome and all that?
Each one is a little different.
Okay.
But it's the same principle of which one you use to go where you want to navigate across the internet.
I try to stay off the computer as much as possible. Look, my phone is about the only thing that I...
But see, I don't do I like when I'm doing, especially paying something, I'd rather be on a big computer because...
Well, you can see a lot more, too. Even on Facebook, like, it's different on a big computer. You can see a lot more. One time, when I got on the laptop, I could see messages that I could not see on my phone.
Right.
So... Anyway, if you tried to message me in the past and I didn't answer, it's probably because I was just on my phone. I don't know.
Good morning to Jerry Long, watching all the way from Gilberttown, Alabama. We appreciate that. All the folks there in Gilberttown. Great place. Did a couple concerts over there a few years ago with Clay Walker came, and Rhett Akins was there, and I'm trying to remember who else came to that. It was great. Seems like maybe Jeff Bates a few years back.
Okay.
But great folks put on a fantastic show there.
And good morning to Jeremiah Johnson.
Yeah,
also,
appreciate that.
Watching.
Let's see here. A teacher is in trouble. Imagine that. As we go out west to Las Vegas, a teacher changed a grade from an F to an A after, well, you see the headlines. He has been dealt with.
Goodness.
Yeah, I won't talk anymore about that one. I'll say something I can't take back. This has been
Nothing
going.
surprises me anymore.
You know, and I have not watched, and I have to step back and go, I hadn't watched Fox News lately.
I watched this the other night.
Was it as good as
yes,
this article?
it was. Let me tell you. He went off the deep end.
Geraldo
went off the deep end. He and Dan Bongino can't stand each other, obviously. They cannot get along on the screen when they're back and forth comment. And Dan Bongino was as calm as he could be talking, and Geraldo just got all out of it was a conversation about
that was my next question.
Yeah, it was about the going on, like the firing from Israel and the Palestinian children. You know, Israel was firing over to Palestine, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and there was children being killed. Well, I mean, we all know, I mean, that is an awful thing when the loss of a child, but there's no way around it when there is war going on, and it's an awful thing, and I don't condone it, but what are you supposed to do? Like, I mean, it's like Bongino was saying, what are they supposed to do? Just sit there and allow them to destroy Israel by keeping on bombing them and keeping on bombing them? And Geraldo was telling them they needed to cease fire. They needed to quit. They needed to stop because there was children dying. Anyway, Geraldo went off the deep end, called him a punk.
Did he?
Punk, you know, I can't stand you. You're a punk. He even wadded up a piece of paper and threw it at the TV, at the screen.
You're kidding me.
No. Then he turns around when Bongino starts talking again. He just turned around and faced the rear, and all you could see was the back of his head, like he was just ignoring him. It was the craziest thing. I've never seen him go that far.
Coming from a man whose show used to be nothing but chaos on television before he became a serious broadcaster.
But Bongino says that Geraldo just always plays the victim side, you know, and stuff. But I mean, it is awful when children are losing their lives, but I really don't see in a war. I mean, how do you
You can't, there's no way.
You know, it's awful. That's just like in Vietnam. I mean, there was children who died in Vietnam.
And a lot of times those countries like that will put the children in front of them as a sort of like a mask or a shield to keep people. You know what I mean by that?
Yes.
You've seen it in pictures from NAM where kids would be toting bombs.
It's a horrible, horrible thing. I mean, war is a horrible thing.
You even go back to the guy that they made the movie about, the cow. What was the guy that had the most kills in the war, and he was killed when he came back here? Sharp.
I know who you're talking about.
And I should know this. I ought to be ashamed.
The one that died?
Yeah.
Okay, and his wife?
Yeah. This
Chris something?
Chris.
I can't think of his last name.
Yeah, but you know, like he even went into that in that movie about the children that would tote bombs. I ought to be ashamed for not knowing his name.
It's awful.
It'll come to me in a minute. If you remember, post that for us and we'll share that. But interesting stuff. Horrible and more. But I like Dan Bongino. He seems to tell the truth.
I think he gets a little wound up sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, a little too wound up in his conversation, you know.
But for the most part across America, Dan Bongino has kind of taken the place of Rush. Now, their network is still carrying reruns of Rush, but major radio stations have switched over to Dan Bongino.
Well, I had heard that he was going to be taking his place.
Yeah, it's that time slot.
Yeah.
But the actual network is still, they've got host and they'll go back.
Listen to it.
And it's gotten old.
Mm-hmm. He goes back and forth like to... You know what Rush? I mean, it's like, I guess, old commentary of Rush talking and stuff.
Chris Kyle, there's our name, Alicia Fisher. Thank you. And why I forgot that name, I do not know. But American Hero, and he addressed that subject in that movie there of children.
Well, I had a stepfather that was in Vietnam. He's passed away now, but he went through like a major depression every year at the same on the anniversary of that date every year that he had to do because he had to shoot people, and that really bothered him. But when he was a Marine,
you can't imagine.
And so, I mean, the thought that you had, I mean, that I can't even imagine it. I really can't.
Yeah, and all of these, the trauma, it's some trauma.
Yeah, it is.
So keep that in our thoughts for our vets there, because that's a serious thing. It truly is. Yes. You know, I don't. I don't know about that story. I'm just gonna move on with that. That's not even worth going into there, because the way judges rule things sometimes. Let's see here. We talked about this yesterday, and this is still a big story. This was the blue goo that she had on her arms that really probably saved her life, that she smeared on that guy's hand. I don't know what she was. I guess she was sitting there playing with it when he come up. This is the little girl there, and thank heavens that turned out okay. Yeah. And that guy's arrested.
I'm glad they got him.
There he is, there being walked into to the jail. Talk to your kids.
The thought of him being on the loose, like, and not being apprehended, you know,
right,
would be, to me, awful. I mean, I'm glad they got him. So
they're trying to shove this down your throat, whether you like it or not. The Biden administration's on top of it, to where the Trump administration was staying more on the oil side. But Ford is unveiling their new truck. It's going to cost $40,000 for the F-150. They say it'll go 300 miles before you have to recharge it. Now,
300 miles?
Yeah, that's not real far.
It's not real far. That's like a tank of gas.
It worries me that, okay, if you run your radio or if you sit still talking to somebody, how does that do your charge? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Does it suck the charge? Like, does it go quicker?
Because I can't count the times I've pulled over on the side of the road and talked to somebody, and you leave your truck running for 20 minutes to keep the air conditioner cool.
Right.
What happens with all of this? And I suppose these will just quit when they run out, like a golf cart. You know, they give no warning when they're going to quit. It just stops where you are.
Probably so. Yeah.
I'm not sure America is ready for this.
I've said all along, though, I think it needs to be like a hybrid type thing. I don't think, hold on, I think the light.
Yeah, it went out. It'll be okay.
I'm sorry. I think it needs to be like a hybrid type situation. I don't think that it needs to be, sorry, I'm trying to get this plug thing. Okay. Where it needs to be gas and electric to have a backup.
Pick back up.
Right. Because who wants to be stuck, you know, in the middle of nowhere? Well, I mean, what if there's no charging station, like we were saying? I mean,
Houston, think about that, in the middle of those 8 lanes of traffic, or Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how they expect this to work. Really.
Yeah, I know. And these are not cheap. And I know prototypes cost a lot of money, but does anybody believe we're really there yet?
No.
GM saying, what is it, by 2030 or 35? I forget the year, that they're going to be all electric, like it or not.
And like government vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, a car chase.
Or in the military. Like, what if it's military vehicles and they're carrying something?
Yeah.
And it goes dead in the middle. I think it's a stupid plan.
I'm all about fuel myself. That's just my thoughts on that.
Well, like I said, it's hard for some people to remember to charge their phone. What are they going to do, you know, about charging a vehicle?
Oh, you think about the gas thing. If you're in a hurry trying to get to work, you forgot to get gas the night before.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to charge my car.
Yeah, you ain't going nowhere.
I've been there about an hour.
I don't know this. Like, when you plug it up, is it an hour wait? Like, you know, a golf cart, you have to do it overnight.
I had a client who, when she would come out to my shop, she had a little, I can't remember, a Prius, I think it was. And
Jeff Dunham.
And she charged it at my shop. But I think hers was like hybrid. But she did charge it. She plugged it in outside. That was weird to me. But
we'll see. That's the way the new Green Deal wants to go. We'll see how it does. Texas is back in business again. They executed their first inmate in 10 months after the COVID pause there. 41-year-old guy that got the lethal injection for beating his great aunt to death. She was 83 years old back in 1999. That's a 22-year wait. Just because she wouldn't give him money.
22 years? Why does it take 22 years?
I don't understand our system.
I don't either. I mean, that's tax dollars just, you know.
Oof. It's Anna McKee said it costs $3,000 to replace your battery in a hybrid.
Goodness gracious.
I bet, bet a lot of those don't get replaced after they run down, because probably the cars probably aren't worth that much. You know how trade-ins are.
Yeah.
Speaking of electric cars, here's your next story. AOC gets a ticket for Can you see what she done wrong? She's got to tell
she's double.
Yeah, she's double parked on top of a parking place where she's not supposed to be. But she got a speeding ticket, a parking ticket for that. AOC. And that's a Tesla is a pretty expensive car, isn't it?
I guess. I think it is.
That's the car that drives itself. That's all electric. Do you know an actress named Ava Gardner? It seems like she was an old actress anyway.
The name sounds familiar.
She's well, let's just skip that. That's not really.
She kind of looks like Elizabeth Taylor.
Does she? She's done a tell-all, is what she is, and I know the name from somewhere, and I just can't place it. But she's done a tell-all story. Somebody's going to be playing her in a real life story about her. Foods. Let's talk about this. Okay. Are you the type when you go to the refrigerator, if it's within a day of it going out, do you chunk it?
Or do you go out?
Yeah,
yes,
it says
I do.
Best eaten by March 25th.
Yeah, I chunk it.
Loaf of bread, how long do you give it?
Now, bread, I mean, if it don't have mold.
Pretty much it's gone.
If it's still kind of soft and it don't have mold on it, I know that probably sounds nasty to some people. But, I mean, I'll eat it. If it don't have that, you know how, have you ever smelled bread?
Oh, yeah, it has that.
That fermented?
Yes.
Yeah, you can pitch that.
I've pretty much watched those dates, but they say that not all of this stuff is really bad past the date. I just can't bring myself to it because I'll know when it was bought. And something's been sitting there 2 years and then giving it an extra year.
Well, let's get on this subject, Scotty. Right?
Okay, put it on.
Did I tell you about us going out to eat?
Oh, yeah, you went out and ate and the steak was bad.
Yes.
We'll come back to this.
Yes. My husband and I went out to eat the other night. It was the first time in a long time. And we got steaks, both of us, and we got them like medium because usually they cook them a little bit more than, so we
mine's always medium.
Well, so when we got our steaks, mine was like rare. I mean, it was just too raw, for me. I just didn't. So we swapped steaks, and he had already eaten a couple bites of the steak. And so I had cut it up and I put a piece in my mouth and I chewed it a couple times. I was like, something's not jihading with me right here now. Something's not right, And so I was just like, I couldn't even swallow it. So I said, I'll be right back. So I go to the restroom. Yeah. I go to the restroom trying to just get there to spit it out. Got sick, come back to the table. And I said, that steak is not.
So it was
wrong.
Bad meat.
Something's wrong with it. It was like rotten. It was that bad. I don't understand how, I will not tell where, but I do not understand how a cook couldn't realize that.
Yeah, you would think you'd give off that odor.
And I will say, if you've ever had soured milk, this is 10 times worse.
Woo!
10 times worse. Thank goodness we didn't get sick.
Because, there for a couple of weeks, whenever you get something like that, every time you look at that food, regardless whether it's good, you remember that taste.
Yes.
Bless you.
Talking about it I can talk about it now without feeling nauseous. That was awful.
I bet so.
Yes, it was.
But they're saying here that olives are good for 3 to 4 months afterwards. I'm not a big olive eater there.
Me either.
Nuts, it says up to 12 months.
Really?
If you freeze them even longer there. But like canned food, I am a real stickler on that.
Now, I will, they say don't buy dented cans because bacteria can get into the can.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Through the little whatever, I guess. I don't know. But, we went through the pantry and cleaned it out a little while back. And there was some stuff in the very back, canned stuff from 2016. I mean, so obviously it just kept getting pushed to the back.
You have to rotate your food or it will turn out bad for you.
And I will not eat that. I mean, canned stuff, you really do need to check that. A lot of people probably don't think about it,
But I'm telling you, like eating my deer meat, I'll write on there what.
Oh, yeah, no, we're real
Put the year and the date that I had it processed so that'll rotate out.
If it's a year old, it's gone. Really.
Just no keeping.
No, I mean, if it's not, and that's my husband's doing. He's like, if it's a year old, it's probably on the freezer burnt side, or on the way out. So anyway.
Keep that in mind as we talk about being prepared for storms as we get ready for hurricane season. Can bring a lot of winds. And if you do not have a storm shelter, talk to our friends at the Precast Group here in Meridian. They can fix you up in no time flat, very affordable, and get you taken care of. These are the ones that are set outside your home, or if you're building. Now, the key to this is if you're building your home, you can have it set inside before the house and then build it around it.
Right.
20,000 pounds. It's not going anywhere. It's bolted down. It's secured. Whether you put it to the slab or out back, they're going to secure it to make sure it's exactly what you're after. Solid steel doors that have been tested through the Hurricane Center. They do that. They'll throw those 2x4s at it to make sure it can withstand the winds. They do all of this for you. You can even get these that are put in the ground that are hidden. You can do them this way. Either way you like, 2 different styles and models to choose from. It is the Precast Group here in Meridian. 482-333 is the telephone number. Let them show you one. You can configure it how you want to on the inside with your benches and your seating there to seat as many people as you want. Talk to them. The Precast Group, get your shelter today and be prepared for whatever life throws at you, because that's what happens. It does throw it at you.
That's right.
As let's see, what is it already? 9:15. Boy, time is flying.
One of the watchers, she asked, we need to know so we can be on the watch out for the restaurant. I'm not going to say the restaurant. Just anytime you get food anywhere, just smell it.
I can say that.
Smell it, you know.
Let's see here. What else we've got here? Things like this do happen. This was in China, but the headline here, they kept somebody in a steel cage for 17 years. Does things like that happen in the United States? Yes, but horrible.
Gosh.
A mentally ill child, they don't know what to do with it, and they cage him. He's freed now.
That's awful.
You just don't know what other people go through behind closed doors.
You don't, definitely. You don't.
Have a little
children.
heart.
I mean, we hear about children all the time kept in containers and like cages and in basements and just abused. It's awful.
Now you have to explain this one to me, because I've looked at the picture and thought, why in the first place would you even want to experiment with this to have this? But here's the headline here of, do you wish you had a third thumb?
Why would you need a third thumb?
That's it. That's
just weird looking to me.
What would you do with that? It'd be in the way, wouldn't it?
That would be horrible. Yeah, you'd be getting that caught in the door.
This is scientists with more money than they know what to do with Maybe if that was to replace a lost thumb, but that's not what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why.
It doesn't look like it would be very sturdy. So there you go. That's one of your big headlines today that you can take over. This is still headlines everywhere you look this week of about the crypto. Now they're saying the federal government they want this to any transaction over $10,000. They want to know about it. And that was the key to all of this, was you could transfer money without being taxed on it. We'll see how that flies over. But that $10,000 mark is the key of where you start paying taxes.
Right.
They get an alert. Some money's been moved. So that may hurt that.
Yeah.
Stocks are already not doing so well on that. Let's see here. Bernie Sanders back in the headlines once again, introducing a resolution to block the sale of weapons to Israel. I don't agree with that, Bernie. I think we need to support Israel and replace what they've had to use.
You know, they were saying yesterday that they have used, I guess there's a certain missile that they use, iron head missiles or some kind of head missiles. And they've been using them to shoot down the other missiles that are being shot to them.
Right.
And like counteract them or whatever. But they've used a lot of them up, so they're needing to replenish them.
And that's what this is about here.
Right. And so I guess that's what, because if it came down to it and they were like bombarded, they would need to protect themselves, you know.
And Israel's always getting jumped on. And it does worry me about this administration of just how far their loyalty is to Israel. We'll see. Thank goodness we hadn't heard anything about moving our embassy, where Donald moved it. He was the first one who had the guts to do it.
Well, so far, I haven't seen a whole lot of
support
where they're for this country. I mean, this administration, they're not obviously for building it up and stuff. So
we'll watch it. We'll report more on that. Here's another story. If you're mayor, anybody in your family that does anything, it really is a reflection upon you, is it not? We go to Rochester, New York, and here's the headline here. The husband of the mayor is charged with drug trafficking after the cops found a large quantity of cocaine in his car. And then they can't rule out charges against the mayor either at this point. So, and there he is there. Pretty serious matter there.
Yeah. They need to check into a lot of them, probably. Yeah.
There's more deals that go on. We all know that. That does happen.
I can't believe the governor's not being held accountable more for the governor of New York, Cuomo. It just blows my mind.
That has gone quiet on everything that happened with all these sexual charges, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and yesterday, I think Chris Cuomo, his brother, is catching a lot of flack now for backing the governor, saying, "Oh, don't worry about these women are lying and they're doing this. Don't even let it get to you." And if it was a regular news media person, they'd be off.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about people having like mess ups on when they're talking, an accident, like they say the wrong word or something, or something kind of, and they get fired. I mean, like the Jeremy Capel guy.
Yeah.
And then you got people like this who just get to keep their job, like
no matter what.
On. Yeah. It's a double standard for them.
Let's go down in history, because I almost forgot to do this for Candace. She loves to find out what happened on this day. 1977. Any guesses on what the number one song in America was? I absolutely love this, because the opening line said, "There's only two things in life that make it worth living: guitars and firm-feeling women." And it was Waylon Jennings is what it was. Number one song on this date, 1977, Luckenbach, Texas.
I remember that song well.
That is such a classic. I love that song. Every time I hear it, I stop what I'm doing. Yeah. We go back to 1955, and this is just classic. Chuck Berry. Who didn't like it? It was number one in 1955 on this day with Maybelline. Why can't you be true? Were you a big Chuck Berry?
I mean, I listen to old music, and every now and then one of his will come up.
Johnny Be Good, I guess, is probably the most recognized song that he did. Memphis, Tennessee. He had a lot. And Chuck has not been passed away really all that long.
So, I like old music. I'd rather listen to old music any day.
And I missed the interview. I think Alan made a comment about the current state of country music. I missed out on that last week. And I know as a kid, as we were watching the Dukes of Hazzard and we were waiting for Wonder Woman to come on, you, on the other hand, could not wait to see this. You were like a Hannibal fan. Mr. T was your favorite, I'm sure.
I did watch the A-Team.
A-Team.
The A-Team, yeah. And Mr. T ain't changed that
No,
much.
he has not. He's got a
on
toilet paper commercial or something right now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, an endorsement.
But he hadn't changed too much.
I pity the fool.
Yeah.
But
you did that pretty good, Scotty Ray.
He really did do a lot with children. He was real big. Him and Nancy Reagan, because he was a big advocate of keeping drugs out of schools, and they become real good friends. Nice guy. I've never met him, but he, on all accounts, seems as true as to what he is. And the lady here to his right, do you remember her?
Yes, Susan Lucci.
What daytime drama was that?
All My Children. Erica Kane.
Erica Kane?
Yeah.
19 times she tried to win that Emmy, and she finally got it.
Erica Kane. I used to watch that all the time. My grandmother watched it all the time. Or my mama. My grandmother was the As the World Turned.
Which one of them was it where that wedding that was so big that somebody got married on there and it was like 20 million people viewed it? Who was
General
that?
Hospital. Luke and Laura.
Luke and Laura,
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We used to watch all of the stories. My grandmother called it the stories.
I used to, that's what it was called. That would be probably a harder job than it is being on a regular weekly show because you learn those lines every day.
Well, Kelly Ripa started out on All My Children.
Didn't know that.
She's was Regis and Kelly.
Yeah.
Now it's Kelly and I don't know,
but
Ryan.
That's how she started.
She was dark-headed, and she was somebody's daughter in I can't remember whose.
I knew Rick Springfield did it, but that was the extent of I don't know a lot of people from that. And if you think you're having a bad day and we have complaints, you look at history. This was 1942. And you may have seen it on the screen when I had it up there. This is when this all started. 4,300 Jews were sent to a gas chamber on this date in 1942. Think about that. Really sit back. One of the most horrid things in history that ever happened. And pray for Israel.
Awful, awful thing. Because I mentioned a while back the movie The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Yeah.
If you have not seen that movie, it's a sad movie, but it's about this. And it's about how a little boy who was a son of one of the officers who worked, like one of the higher ups, he was a son on the wealthy side, and he would come to the fence, and a little boy that was a Jew would come to the fence, and he had on the little striped outfit,
Right.
you know, and they would talk and play together, and the little wealthy boy would bring him food, and then it come to where the little boy wanted to go under the fence and play with the little boy because he had nobody to play with. All he heard was grown-ups all the time. It was just, you know. So I'm kind of telling the storyline, but it's a really good movie. It does not end very well, but it's so sad what these people had to go through.
Oh.
And they were what the scary part is, they were just deceived. They were deceived.
Yes.
And
Star David.
yes,
You know, go back and do your history on that.
it's awful.
There's a lot of
Awful.
problems in the world. That is one of the worst things that has ever happened on this continent.
But if you've not seen The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, it is a good movie to watch.
And the Diary of Anne Frank, if you've ever heard that, that really shows what went on there and how they had to hide just to stay alive. And bless her heart, the ending to that story was not good either.
Yeah.
It just was not. Our friends down at Sanders Gas, I spoke to Chuck yesterday. They are hard at it trying to take care of folks when it comes to air conditioners. If you need yours, tuned up, $69.99. They'll come out to your house, do that, clean it up, get it going, check your Freon, make sure that you're good to go and it's cooling properly. And you'll save money in the long run with all of this because it runs more efficient, is the way they put that.
Right.
And as we already noticed our first one on the radar map this morning, as hurricane season kicks off, if you do not have a generator, talk to them today. Have some peace of mind when the power goes off that your lifestyle is not going to change and be out for weeks at the time or
Right.
a couple of days. And the more rural route you are, the odds are that, well, you could be without power longer. Go ahead, fix that. Right now, talk to Chuck. They'll come out and tell you what size generator you need home for your home. It'll automatically turn on and take care of it. You won't have to do anything. See them today at Sanders Gas. 693-1212 is the number to call, and they'll fill in all the blanks and take that worry out there and tell you how affordable it is to have your own generator.
That's right.
You'll like it a whole lot.
Check into it now because, you know, once hurricane season starts, it might be harder to get those.
It is.
You know, because everybody will be buying them up.
Yeah, the factories get low when that happens. So what's on the agenda for Candace today?
I'm going to work this morning, but I'm kind of uncertain about how my day is going to go because I don't know if I'm going to have to take my son to the doctor.
To the doctor?
We were waiting on them to call us back. So,
Well, I hope everything
know.
turns out well there.
yeah, but it's going to be a pretty day. So that's a plus, you
Right.
know.
We want to go back over Monday morning. We're changing the time of this. We'll be on 30 minutes earlier, beginning at 8 a.m.
Right.
MeTV is where we'll be, and it'll be here just like it is now. You'll be able to watch just like it is online, wherever you're watching from this morning. And it's just getting an extra boost of being on television, but we're just backing it up 30 minutes. And at the beginning of it, we will go on 5 minutes early, the feed, that black screen that says starting soon, and it will kick off right at 8 o'clock. We'll turn it on at 7:55, and that's to check our signals to make sure everything is working properly so it won't throw you off and wonder what's going on.
Right.
Any,
But tell everybody.
Yes.
Tell everybody about it. Because I think it's going to be a really good turnout. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good addition to Meridian, you know.
We appreciate, and your comments is what will make the show. So we need your comments, and we'll be on top of everything that's going on in the community to let you know what's happening
That's
there.
right.
New earrings, or is that old?
Well, I've had them for a while, but I haven't worn them a lot. So.
Okay, I noticed that.
Yeah, I have not. You noticed a lot of stuff, Scotty, right? I haven't worn them yet here, I don't think.
Okay,
So, yeah.
see, I'm just pointing out I noticed things.
Very observant. Yeah.
If there's ever a bank robbery, I can tell every detail.
You'll get the tag. No. Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for joining us. We do appreciate you. Love you to death. And we'll see you bright and early Monday morning here at 8 a.m. And then I'll be on before that at 6:30 with all of your weather stuff. It's just going to be a hot weekend. Remember that we're into the 90s on Sunday.
Yes. But we hope y'all have an enjoyable weekend. Enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah.
And have a very blessed, safe weekend.
See you bright and early Monday. Here with Scotty Ray and Candace.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by